Are you finding yourself constantly triggered? Are you upset when your kids don't listen to you again? Do you know what you should do, but yet in the moment you completely lose your ever loving mind? Do you know you're supposed to walk away, but something about what your kids are doing, you have to yell to get them to listen? Is that you? Do you get triggered? Are you getting triggered by people on Facebook or by the mailman or by someone in the store? Are you easily triggered by what other people are doing and then you just feel completely guilty about it? Well, I've got good news. Yay, you're human. Guys, you are absolutely human. Congratulations if you get triggered. Your brain is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. So, if this is you, you have nothing to be ashamed of, nothing to be guilty of. This is normal. And we're going to talk about that today. We're not crazy. We are totally, totally normal. And I'm going to be talking about that today. I'm going to be talking about how if you get triggered, first and foremost, celebrate yourself. It means you are not a robot and you are human. So you can just go ahead in the comments and you can say, I am human. Yay me. And then we're going to be talking about what you can do about this. Now, I might be working on shifting a couple of your beliefs about this triggering stuff and about what the world wants you to believe about being triggered, especially if you are a parent. Oh, of course, you're not supposed to get triggered. You're supposed to be calm. You're supposed to help your kids. You're supposed to be the calm in the storm, right? And so then we feel guilty. We feel bad about it. So we're going to be talking about that today. If you know anyone else who gets triggered and needs a little bit of help, just let them know. Well, we're going to be talking today because inside of our Facebook group, I saw a post this morning and she was like, I don't know what to do. What do you do to, if you're getting triggered, what kind of therapy do you need to go to get help with this? And that's the first thing I want to talk about here. This is totally normal. Nothing is wrong with you. You are not broken. This is totally normal. It's your brain protecting you. It's your brain telling you, whoa, I sense danger. And here's the thing, guys, our entire world is in chaos right now. So why would your brain not be on high alert to get triggered easily, to jump to conclusions easily, to get angered easily? Because it is protecting you and it is on high alert all day, every day right now because of everything going on in the world. There was a fire NATO yesterday. I mean, there are things happening in our world right now that our brain cannot comprehend because it is not stuff that we understand. It is not stuff that we have lived with our entire life. And so our brain is like, woo, woo, red alert. There are some major things going on right now. And so that is first and foremost. The second thing that I want to talk about is there is this belief in the world out there right now that if you somehow are not this calm, zen, amazing person, then something is wrong with you and you must need a professional and you must need a therapist. Now, therapy is super important. Super important. But did you know that research shows that only 10% of the population actually needs to go to a therapist? The rest of us, what we need coaches and we need someone to guide us. We need a framework and we need someone to just listen to us, empathize with us, and help us see things a different way. And so I am not discounting therapy. I think therapy is amazing. I see a therapist. My son sees a therapist. I am not discounting that. But I want to be really clear here, guys. This is something that I see more and more and more and more. We have 30,000 people in our free group, 300,000 people on our Facebook and in our email. And time again, I hear, well, I need to go to a doctor and get a diagnosis. I need a therapist who has more information than me. And the thing is you are an expert in yourself. You are an expert in your family. You are an expert in your kids. And so you have that power. You have that power to be able to discover yourself, to connect with yourself, to understand yourself, and by golly, to empower yourself. And so this is just my little tiny rant about this power we are giving up to other people instead of saying, you know what? Yay me, I'm human. Okay, what can I do about this? So, my goal is to help you simplify being the best parent you can be, simplify helping empower your kids, simplify parenting, and creating this out of the box life where we don't feel like we are constantly at battle with if we're doing the right thing or the perfect thing. So, today, what I want to do is I want to talk about some simple steps that you can take to work towards changing the story that I get triggered, right? Or my spouse gets triggered or my kid gets triggered. Because the truth is your brain is working, right? It may be on high alert. It may be on high alert and you might be getting triggered more easily, but this is totally normal. This is what we do all day, every day inside of our Calm the Chaos program is we help parents and humans, honestly, be able to understand themselves, connect with themselves, and be able to empower themselves so that they can live the life that they want to live. So the very first thing that I want us to talk about is kind of what we've been doing just now. We've been shifting, right? So we've been shifting this idea that, oh, I'm so terrible. Oh, I'm so awful. Oh, I can't believe I did that to, yay me, I'm human, right? Because when we recognize that we are human, well, then it becomes a lot easier to empathize with ourselves. It becomes a lot easier to give ourselves a little bit of slack because the backwards thing to do is to say, I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be doing this. And so we push it down and we push it down and we push it down so much that we're not allowing ourselves to feel the emotions that we're feeling. We don't allow ourselves to really explore the emotions that we're having. So then then it just is this massive blow up when it happens, right? So here is what I want us to do. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'll see if this works. I'm actually going to go this way. If you need it a little bigger, we'll probably go back and forth, right? Okay. So, I could do, I can't do it that way. Okay. So we'll do it this way. So the very first thing that I want you to do is I want you to shift. And here's what I mean by that. I want you to shift from, I can't believe I did this, or I always get triggered. I am such a terrible person. We call these thought monsters inside of our Calm the Chaos program. So, right. So we want to shift our thinking because the more you have that negative self-talk about yourself, the more you're going to get triggered, the more you're going to notice that it's happening. And so what I want you to do is I want you to shift and go ahead and do it as we're doing it in the comments, right? So I want you to go ahead and shift. So whatever comes up for you, what is the thought you have when you're triggered? Those of you that are watching right now, something about this really caught your attention and you're like, oh my gosh, that's me. My guess, if you have had some negative self-talk to yourself about being triggered, what is it? Do you think I'm so terrible? I'm a bad mom? Do you think I always yell? Do you think I can't remain calm? Do you think something's wrong with me? What are the things that you do? Go ahead and put them in the comments because I'm going to help you just shift them right here. We're going to go ahead and take our one thought and we're going to shift that thought, that negative thought that is just a perception. It's just a belief. We're going to shift that belief and we're going to turn it into an empowering thought, right? So maybe it is, I am terrible or I'm the worst, right? How many of you guys have said that? I'm the worst. And a lot of times people think, oh my gosh, like, I'm the worst. And they think that the shift has to go to I'm the best. No. You're just going to shift it to the fact I'm human. That's totally fine too. A lot of times when you're first getting started at this, when you first are starting to shift, you'll go to like mindfulness experts or you'll go to daily affirmations and they feel so hokey pokey. You feel like you can't believe them yet. And that's okay because you're not there on your journey yet. You're comparing yourself to someone else that is much further on their journey. But right now, I want you to start with where you are. And every single one of these are going to be different, right? It's my fault. I'm useless. I'm awful. I'm a horrible person. I'm a bad mom. I yell too much. I don't deserve to be a mom, right? Instead, swap that for I'm human. All humans get triggered because, and I'm going to get to this in just a little bit, the understanding piece is so key, right? So first, we want to shift with this, right? Look at all these amazing things that I have done. Look at the love that I do have for my kids. Look at the times that I am able to remain calm, and then shift it. Okay. So look for, we call that Fact Finder Freddy, right? So I don't think I have him, or Perspective Pete works too, but we call this Fact Finder Freddy, looking for the truth instead of listening to all that negative self-talk inside of us. All right. So from there, what we're going to do is we're going to go on this journey. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to start connecting with our own self. We're going to start connecting with the things that calm us, the things that bring us back to center. We're going to start really paying attention to the things that make us feel whole, the things that do help us. So we're going to connect with ourselves. So I'm going to put this here. And we're going to have some connection time. And what I do with connection is I actually, when I'm doing it for myself, I actually will journal like this. I'll journal. And so I'm going to journal. You may do best connection by getting quiet. You might connect with yourself by saying, so I'm going to put here, we're connecting with ourselves. So we're giving ourselves some time. This can be 5 minutes. This can be 2 minutes. This can be 30 minutes. Some people have a really great connection plan with themselves. Inside of Calm the Chaos, we talk about a spark plan, which is a routine that you can use to connect. But you can do this right here, right now. And so what I want you to just think about is you can say, okay, what makes me upset? Like what, like I got triggered today. I yelled at my son, and you just start writing. And then you start asking yourself questions. But why did that bother me? Why did that upset me? Right? So you're going to ask the question. This is a really good one, but why? My guess is that you have something deep rooted inside of you. And I mean this with the most love possible. My guess is that you have an experience in your life that's bringing you to this trigger point, something that's so deep rooted that you haven't really thought about lately. There's probably a lot of reasons why, and you may not know the whole reason why, but what is it about this thing that happened? Did someone make you feel unheard? And then you remember growing up and feeling unheard, or people talking over you, and it made you feel like you weren't important. So you're going to start recognizing that piece about you. Connect with what's really deep inside of you, and also connect with the thing that calms you, right? Is it your deep breaths? Is it your journaling? Is it your walk outside, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to go, so this is first, we're going to shift. Next, we're going to connect with ourselves and start really asking, but why? Next, after that, what we're going to do is we are going to really start to understand where this is coming from. Because when we understand where triggers are coming from, oh my goodness gracious, then it makes it so much easier for us to handle the triggers, for us to reduce how many times we're getting triggered, for us to reduce how many times we're getting upset, is if we truly understand the trigger. And so what we're going to do is, one, we have to know that when we get upset, this is just a fact. When we get upset, our brain goes into 3 modes. It can have 3 reactions. It can go into fight, flight, freeze. Okay. So some of you that get triggered, you get triggered by screaming, yelling, throwing, hitting. I know some of you out there do this. It's not just our kiddos. Some of you shut down, you run away. You get in the car, you drive off, you walk to the other room. Some of you just shut down. You completely freeze. You completely just shut down. And when that happens, there's nothing else that can come into your awareness at all. Like you are just done, right? So understanding that fight, flight, or freeze is what is happening in a trigger moment is super, super important. This is the yay me. My brain is working. My brain is trying to protect me. Okay. So this part is totally, totally normal, right? And most of us, when triggered, are right here, right? We get set off. And so we're screaming, we're yelling. And when that happens, it's like in that moment, Dan Siegel calls it flipping your lid. When that happens, you're no longer present. And so it is much harder in the moment, much harder when triggered to actually get to your calming place. And so what you want to do is beforehand, ahead of the moment, that's why this journaling is so important, is to then take a look at what we call our behavior funnel. Okay. And you're going to start processing of elimination, right? What is causing those triggers, right? So is it that your basic needs, okay? So we call this one the basic needs. Now, I didn't get enough sleep. I didn't get enough food. I didn't get enough water. All those things, right? So here, basic needs, right? Now, I want to tell you guys something. I want to come back to me for a second. This is super important. In the world we're living in right now, not a single one of us have our basic needs met. What I mean by that is people think of basic needs as housing, as food, as water. But here is something that you need to hear, because it is going to help you empathize with the person that gets offended easily, the person that snaps off easily, the person that, 6 months ago never would have reacted that way. The world is in chaos. Can we all agree that the world is not the world it was January 2020? And so we are all resting at this very unsettled place. We are all at this place where internally, unconsciously, we aren't sure what tomorrow's going to look like. We aren't sure if there's going to be a fire tornado tomorrow, or if there's going to be meth gators, or whatever is going to happen. We have no idea. And so all of us, parents, kids, neighbors, teachers, you name it, are all resting at this unsettled, unsafe place. And so when I talk about looking at your triggers and looking at why they happen, most of us are never going to get below basic needs right now, because most of us feel unsafe. Most of us don't feel secure. Now, if you've been doing a lot of thought work, if you've been working on this over the last 4 months, then you might say, you know what? I actually do feel safe. I actually do feel secure. I'm good here. So what else could it be? Okay. Well, it could be connection. I should use a different pen. It could be connection. So you could be feeling like your connection is really broken. Maybe you're not connected with yourself. You're not connected with your family. You're not connected with the outside world. Maybe you haven't picked up a phone lately. Maybe you haven't actually seen a real human lately. Do not underestimate the power of connection. And I'm going to stop. I'm going to go one more, because as mamas, this one's big. There are more here, and we're going to go even further in our Calm the Chaos workshop. But most of us mamas, most of us parents that are getting triggered by our kids' behaviors, we can stop right here. Basic need of feeling safety, or too tired, or not enough energy. And then connection, not being connected with real humans, and not being connected with other adults, and not having a connection with our kids. And then finally, sensory, being overtouched, over noised, right? Of being cramped into a house, of not moving, right? So these three are going to help so much with really getting clear on why the triggers are happening in the first place. Okay, so from here, we've got one more step because we can't stop there, right? And so when you go to a therapist, to a doctor, they're going to jump to here and they're probably going to try to diagnose you with something. They're probably going to label you, put you in a box. When you go to a friend, right? They might be doing the connection piece. When you do mindfulness, you're going to be doing the shift piece. The key here, the framework that we've discovered, is that you actually need all 4 steps for this to actually take you forward and give you forward motion. You can fill in the blanks with the things you already know. You already have so much knowledge. I know that because if you follow me, you read all the books, you go to all the parenting summits, you follow all the experts, you know all the stuff. You've got it. You don't need any more information. What you need is a pathway, a journey to be, or a roadmap to be able to make it work for you, to actually put it into action. So that's what this is, right? Is step 1, I'm going to shift. And that's however I shift. I'm going to connect with myself, with my own thoughts, with my own worry, my own concerns. I'm going to start understanding that, yay me, I'm human. This is normal. And then from there, we cannot stop there. We cannot stop there. Knowing is one thing. Taking action is another. And so the next thing you have to do is you have to create a plan, all based on what you've done up here, all based on this. So you have to create an ahead of the moment plan. If you come up to this, to the moment, and then you're like, oh, what was it that crazy lady on Facebook said to do? Okay, she said to shift. Okay, she said to connect with myself. Well, I can't journal while he's kicking me. And okay, is this a basic need or is this connection? Well, it's a basic need because I'm getting hurt, right? You're not gonna be successful. And I want to set you up for success. And the way to set you up for success is to empower yourself, empower you with a plan, When you can start recognizing the one thing that is triggering you. Now, I know there's probably a lot of things that are triggering you, but there's something that is happening over and over and over and over again. So what is that one thing, right? We're going to focus on one thing to start. So when this happens, okay, what do you typically do, right? How does it make you feel? That goes back to up here, connecting with the deeper why, right? So when my kid yells at me, I feel inadequate. I feel like he doesn't respect me. I feel like he doesn't care about me, okay? And so then, this is important, you're going to have to advocate for yourself. And you're going to actually have to tell someone, the person that you're getting triggered with. Maybe it's just yourself. When you yell at me, it makes me feel like you don't care about me, but I know that you do. So the next time that you yell at me, instead of me yelling back, here's what I'm going to do. So you're going to let the other person know about your plan. Okay? So you're going to share it. And then last step, you're going to do something, right? You're going to say something and you're going to do something. I'm going to put say. This is what you're going to say out loud, and this is what you're going to do. So do. Are you going to walk away? Are you going to put on headphones? Are you going to chew gum? Are you going to sit in a chair? So you're going to plan it ahead of time. You're going to talk about it ahead of time. We call this a huddle. You're going to be talking about it ahead of time. Now, is this going to work the very first time you try it? Probably not. So you're going to keep coming back to it and keep working on it, but keep focusing on that one trigger You've probably right now got 1,000,001 triggers, but right now focus on the one that is happening the most. Get clear on what it is that's happening. Get clear on which piece is causing it. And then empower yourself with that conversation. Advocate for yourself. Hey guys, when it gets really loud in here, I get really triggered. I get really upset. So if you want me in here, I need you to lower your voice. If not, then I'm going to move to another room because it's super loud. Okay. So let's recap real fast. Okay. Now this is what we do all day, every day inside of Calm the Chaos. This is what we do is create plans so you can empower yourself. We help you understand, we help you shift, we help you connect with yourself, with others, so that you can live the life that you were meant to live, so that you can not only be the parent you want to be, but you can have the family you want, and ultimately you can live the dream life that you want. So this is super important to get started, because if you don't take care of you, it's going to be really hard to help your kids. It's going to be really hard to help them remain calm, to help them deal with their anxiety. This is step one. So just to recap, if you know you get triggered, if you know that this is something really difficult for you, right? Then you want to shift, right? I'm the worst. I'm terrible. I should know better, right? No, I'm human. This is normal. I'm not like this all the time, right? There's a lot going on in the world right now, and I'm struggling. Next, connect. Connect with what calms you, and also connect with what's upsetting you. Connect with that so you can start to really, truly know yourself, know your likes, know your dislikes, know things about yourself. Understand that this is the way the brain works. Your brain is protecting you. That's why you cannot remove yourself before yelling. Because if you haven't done this work and created an empowerment plan, and you haven't practiced it and practiced it and practiced it, guess what? Your instinct's going to take over. And you can practice this all you want, and your instinct's still going to take over. It takes all of these steps. It takes all of this to be able to get better at not getting triggered as easily. Doesn't mean it's not still going to happen, right? It's simple, but not always easy. And that's where you want to surround yourself with people who understand you, who are going to let you have your moment, let you process it, let you connect, remind you that you are human, and then help you come up with the next steps, your plan. You're not broken. Nothing's wrong with you. You are 100% human. 100% human. And then the final step is empower yourself with that plan, right? Empower yourself with, when this happens, it makes me feel this way. Tell someone that. I'm going to say this ahead of time, and this is what I'm going to do when it happens in the moment. Okay? Practice that, practice it, because it's going to make it easier. All right, guys, this has been amazing. I have loved sharing with you guys. If you liked this, if you know someone that needs to hear this about, and you know someone right now who is getting triggered, who is feeling like a failure, feeling like they're broken, and you got something out of this, and you know that they are not broken. You know that they are not at fault. You know that they're human. Share this. Let them know. Tell them, you've got to come listen to this. Because we take a different approach. We come at it differently. You are not broken. And if you're listening to this, I love to wrap all of this up the same way, all of my videos, because I know someone who needs to hear this. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, this woman has no idea how much I lose my shit. She has no idea how bad it gets in my house. First of all, I want to tell you I do. I have always had a volatile personality. My mom and I have always, like when she was alive, we had a volatile relationship. When I'd get triggered and I felt unsafe, when I felt unheard, I would lose my ever-loving mind. And I've broken things. There's been holes in walls. I'm not there anymore. But in this particular instance, I get it. I do hear you. I do understand. I have been there. And on top of that, I've worked with thousands of parents and professionals just like you who are professional, who have the knowledge, who have the background, who have all the skills that they need, and yet they still lose their cool. And yet they still get triggered. And yet they still blame themselves. So I want you to know that one, you are not alone. In fact, there is an army of people just waiting for you. Just waiting for you. We have workshops coming up. We have a free Facebook group. I go live on this page all the time. There is an army just waiting for you to reach out. You are not alone. And you have everything you need to go forth and conquer your day. I believe in you. And you should believe in yourself too. But here's the thing. I'll believe in you more than you believe in yourself until you can believe it yourself. All right. I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye, guys.